We all know Joan Rivers is a comedy icon. In the recent documentary made about Joan, many younger comedians pay tribute to her as being a groundbreaker, an inspiration, that kind of thing. I've always been a Joan Rivers fan, from the early days when she was on Johnny Carson's show, maybe even before that, and talking about her sex life, her honeymoon, that kind of thing. She was very funny. Then she went on QVC, and I discovered her because a gal named Cathy Bennett came to work in our office. She's a great-looking gal, and she had these beautiful pins. And I remember asking her, where do you get the pins? And she said, well, this one, the one she was wearing that day, was from QVC. It was a Joan Rivers pin. And I said, you're kidding. You buy jewelry on television? Yes, she did. And so if Cathy could do it, I could do it. So I tuned into QVC, and before long I was buying pins and all kinds of other stuff. I sometimes think Cathy ought to get a rebate on all my purchases because she introduced me to QVC. At any rate, Joan was very amusing selling her jewelry, and all was well. And so I was happy last Friday night when a group of us decided to go see Joan Rivers at the Venetian. She had had several weekends of performances there, and we wanted to see her before she left. Well, I have to say that seeing Joan Rivers in person was not what I expected. Oh, she looked great. She wears 3-inch heels, and she had a sparkly robe, and she walked across the stage, and she had no trouble at all. She's one limber 78-year-old broad, I must say. She looked great. But the essence of her comedy today was so mean. It wasn't what I expected. There were lots of F words. I mean, lots of F words. And although I could take that, it was the comments she made about living people, and they were really mean comments. There were lots of times when the audience just gasped because she called so-and-so ugly. She would often say about other celebrities, she's a great friend of mine, and then go on to eviscerate that person. I can't imagine that that person thought this was funny, and I didn't think it was funny either. Well, I laughed a couple of times, I have to admit, but not when she was making fun. She made fun of the blind, the deaf, people with strokes, people like Dick Clark. I mean, it just wasn't funny to me. There were lots of gasps in the audience, as I said. There was laughter, too. There were a few people, I think, who walked out. We were sitting right near the exit row, and we did see some people leaving. In the end, there was polite applause, and I did hear a few people say, wasn't she wonderful? But it wasn't a standing ovation, and typically in Las Vegas, when you see a good show, there is a standing ovation. I say that because about 6 weeks ago, I went to see Bill Cosby, who is also, I think, probably past 70. And I didn't expect too much, really, because I'd seen him on television lately, and he seemed to go on a bit. His show was hilarious. From start to finish, young people, old people in the audience laughed nonstop. And in the end, there was the most enthusiastic standing ovation. So, I did compare the two. Joan, I think I'm not so sure you're doing the right thing at your age. It wasn't funny to me and to several people in the audience. I don't know. I wouldn't spend my money and go see her again.